time. I mean, there's a lot of pressure going into this event, but we're going to go ahead and get started immediately. These players have been waiting. Pokemon Stadium 2, favorite starter for many. Let's see how it all runs out.
Now, Anti, of course, already opening up. He doesn't, at this percent, of course, Lucario, not the strongest character. He needs to wait until he gets that aura built up, but he's still capable of pretty potent low percent combos.
Yeah, and again, with aura changes and rage changes, we don't see the devastation that we saw in the previous iteration of Smash, but still deadly. And even with the patch that just recently came out earlier this week, 3.0, be aware we are playing on the earlier patch. A couple little things did change for Lucario, but Anti's playing in this patch, so we're going to see the devastation he can lay on Sonix.
Right now, off to a pretty even start for both players. Both trying to find their footing, feel how each other play out in neutral.
Yeah, definitely this right now is seeing what are the habits of each other. Sonix hasn't seen potentially much of Anti's play aside from maybe on stream or anything that he'd been grinding offline in pools or otherwise. Everyone knows him for his Mario, even his Zero suit in the previous game, but now his new habits, whatever he's developed, Sonix might not be aware of them.
As I said, those Sonix now finding the momentum, getting those hits, keeping Anti in the corner, but now finally resetting back to neutral. But this is where Lucario begins to become a real threat. That Aura Sphere is so potent.
Yes, that Aura Sphere multiplier now again affecting his knockback and his damage. We saw that he caught him with the Aura Sphere into a clean back air. That's going to take the first stock, setting potentially the tone for the rest of the set. Sonix fires back now, and Anti's off stage, recovering, and neutral's reset.
And this is really, really important for Anti, being able to maintain and hold on to this percent as long as he can avoid Sonic's most potent kill moves like that back air and that forward smash. He can really, really deal a lot of damage here.
Yeah, and as we saw online before, the forward smash having a pretty deceptive range, the pullback potentially getting him out of any danger, and then the lunge forward, again, surprising many. But Anti's not ignorant to any of that. He has plenty of experience with Sonic in general. Given the previous game where he's faced so many before, he is familiar with the tempo they're trying to establish, and right now he is boxing out a little bit, staying out of range. Sonix gets a grab, and he's off stage again.
Two frame, and this is the timing, unfortunately, but gets a back and gets a super early kill.
Yeah, you see Anti nodding. Of course, this is something that is according to plan. He can't afford to lose this set because, again, going into losers this early in such a stacked tournament is something no top player or any player wants.
Yeah, exactly. And now this is a fantastic position for Anti. Still alive at 186. I believe Aura is pretty much at its cap now, and all the rage behind Lucario's hits mean that just a few will take out Sonic's stock.
Yes, he's having trouble not necessarily getting him off stage, but cleaning the stock off.
207% on Anti. This is pretty ridiculous right now, but Anti having a bit of trouble landing that key hit. He can play this very kind of safe and reserved, focusing on that Aura Sphere, but finally gets the back throw to get that first stock.
Yeah, many back throws previously have taken many lives, and now is no different. Now we're sitting at 0. Aura has reset. Anti is a stock lead, though. However, Sonix might have something to say about that, but Anti interrupts with his Nair.
Ideally, Sonix is going to want to try to opt for a Gimp, force him off stage and capitalize on the vulnerabilities of Lucario's recovery if he wants to close this gap. Either that or he needs a really strong read with that forward smash.
Yeah, we saw our first parry of the set, intentional or not. We're going to see which players take advantage of the new mechanics. However, coming off stage now, a ledge jump gets met with a back air after. Now we're all of a sudden even.
Yeah, that was really, really crucial for Sonix. Excellent reads on those jumps and catching him out perfectly.
Yes, again, this game is not necessarily about just the damage, but also the stocks. Now taking 2. Sonix is now tying it up pretty quickly. Coming back onto stage, Anti misses an edge guard opportunity. Getting now put off stage, juggled a little bit, trying to make it back to stage. Anti's thinking about what he can do to stop this momentum. He needs to stop it quick before he gets carried away.
I like that from Anti, kind of slowing the pace down, just focusing a little bit more on that Aura Sphere, while Sonic is all that way away, so you can whiff punish him accordingly.
Alright, trying to regain composure. Again, Aura Sphere is still a threat during neutral the entire time, either clipping or getting clipped by it. Sonix is aware of that, taking his time. Homing attack, back air does not meet its mark.
Yeah, we see once again Sonic's trying to read Anti's jump, this time Anti opting for the directional air dodge back to the stage. Let's see if Sonix, again, going for the high, call him, but Anti still alive.
Spring, unfortunately, not ending the stock for Anti, but we see that Eclipse with the Aura Sphere wasn't able to get a confirm off of that, and now we're seeing potentially the set ending for any of these two any second now.
Yeah, this is an incredibly scary situation, but Anti does have the advantage of that very powerful Aura Sphere.
Rage and Aura Sphere combined in this last stock situation. You know both of these players are sweating now. What was originally something that was very mild and even-handed is now all of a sudden super contentious.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, excellent stuff by Sonix, bringing that back all the way from a 2-stock deficit and just taking that game one. What a play right there.
Those are the dynamics of the game that everybody comes to watch. The fact that Anti had such a strong lead, percentage leads, stock leads, again, Sonix was meeting him where he was, but then also changing the momentum in his favor. Those homing attacks into the back air, as well as the nair that he was able to keep him off stage with, and that edge guard attempt with the spring is something that Anti is going to have to consider now going into game two. Will we see a switch, however? We do know that Anti was touting the fact that Lucario is the funnest character he's played in a Smash game up to date. And of course, with a new character comes new situations to consider. Has he played Lucario against Sonic in previous iterations? Has he labbed it? Has he studied it? These are, again, things that if you go into a new character, you all have to renew it. We might see a Mario change potentially.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening, especially since Anti is going into the controls section. Potentially to... Oh, no. Taking some time to consider his thoughts. Maybe he wants that Mario switch. Of course, he has played against, that matchup plenty in Smash 4. The dynamic naturally is going to be very, very different, but it seems like he's actually sticking it out potentially with the Lucario here.
Yeah, and we see a return to PS2, a stage that is a welcome addition to many people and a welcome return. Seeing now that we have more stages to choose from as well as counter picks, we're seeing a new tempo and a new rhythm established for many of the matches prior that we used to see on Smashville.
That we are. PS2, of course, being a much larger stage than Smashville, but very, very balanced overall nonetheless, thanks to its overall layout.
Yeah, and now we're seeing consideration. There was a move to Wolf. However, he's going to stick to his guns. Lucario Sonic back on PS2. Anti is thinking about the fact that now he is potentially on the ropes. Sonic, again, a character that throughout the entire set you have to follow his tempo, his rhythm, because he can set it very easily with his mobility, both in the air and on the ground.
That said, though, of course, Sonic is not quite as effective at doing that as he used to be in the previous game, thanks to the weakened defense of his overall kit. You know, not being able to shield cancel that spin dash is such a crucial change for this character. In exchange, though, feels like they're trying to gear him more towards an aggressive style of gameplay.
Yeah, and we know many Sonics from previous titles, 6WX, Static Manny, Komura Kiri. We're seeing the changes now and how they implement it into their playstyle. Again, Sonic's taking his time here, Anti laying on the damage. However, as you do damage to Lucario, he will get stronger with that aura. Again, knockback and damage multiplier.
And look at the overall space that both these players are just trying to maintain, make it difficult to punish and react to whatever they're doing at these long mid-ranges.
Yeah, and Sonix must be feeling, you know, a certain type of way right now, considering he just took the first game of the set, and he has a considerable lead right now. Whether or not that...
Oh, that was very scary.
Ooh, I wonder if he was really trying to wall cling there. I wonder if that was a mistake that could have almost cost him the stop.
Hit a low angle anti-air by the up tilt.
Or just looking incredibly scary now.
Beautiful forward tilt, but still not enough to take the stock just yet. Oh, very high recovery and a punish coming out from Sonix.
The splits take it. Now there's a stock lead. However, even at 0, there is an aura multiplier in effect because he is behind 1 stock. Lucario again benefiting not only from the damage done to him, but from the stock deficit he may be in. That's something Sonix definitely has in mind. 122, a straight hit could send him off stage into the blast zone, but he's taking his time.
A clean back air from Lucario, probably one of the main ways for Anti to get the kill. Or a forward smash, beautiful stuff.
Whatever works, right in the face, safe or not, right there. Anti had very little to lose at 16%. Again, Sonic couldn't do too much to him, but he found his mark and he took the first stock. We're now looking at an even-handed game once again.
And the way that Anti is using these B reversals, using his mobility with Lucario. Lucario having a really good set of mobility, very fast in the air and a great initial dash. He's just kind of weaving around, making it kind of unpredictable when he's going to fire and when he's going to land.
Yeah, that creativity is so important for a character that some people may claim to be linear, based again on the recovery being so telegraphed and also a charge-up being involved. Anti's trying to apply every single inch of this kit to make the most of his Lucario. B reversals, everything else. We're seeing that movement right in effect. Sonic's now getting back, getting clipped by the Aura Sphere. However, not enough. Now off stage, 101%. Anti, no edge guard opportunity there that he took advantage of. Again, you don't want to risk it now on the main stage, being behind a game. This prudence might cost him later, but at the same time, it might help in the end.
Yeah, he's playing very kind of conservative. He doesn't want to overcommit at the moment. He knows the damage output that Sonic is capable of, and he's simply trying to just play that war of attrition. He knows he'll find that big hit in the right opportunity.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Of course, when they're off stage, you want to challenge that, but in this iteration, air dodge being such a terrible option in many cases, it's such a commitment. He can't afford to go off stage, but now coming back to stage, getting near above, he is above Sonix, but now he's off stage again, makes it back to ledge. Quick swoop. Anti's definitely thinking about how can he end this right now so that he can at least get some extra credit on the next stop.
One thing that we haven't seen too much of Anti is making use of that force palm command grab. He hasn't really landed one too much. He's gotten the projectile a bit, but who needs that when you have the Aura Sphere into the back air?
A welcome setup for sure. That clip sending into a clean back air. As we saw in the first game, Anti was able to apply that. Now getting big damage, 59%. Sonic makes it back, 161. We have Aura and Rage online. A counter for the call out not being what was needed in that moment. Sonix is trying to get back, getting clipped, and the down air didn't result in anything. A forward smash sends him to the black zone.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for Anti. He had so much momentum and unfortunately cost it right there. That said though,
very doable.
Yes, absolutely doable. But for both players, we saw Sonix in a very similar position last game. It was actually more severe, but he was able to mount that comeback. Let's see if Anti is able to actually close out the game this time.
Yeah, the pressure is on to take this set. He is in the lead. But again, if any mistake happens off stage, it could be his tournament stop.
And Anti trying to read with this counter, but it doesn't matter. Once again, the back air coming through and taking that final stock. 1-1.
Yeah, you saw Sonix shake his head. Of course, you have to hand it to your opponent in situations like that where you're getting not necessarily outplayed, but you're losing key exchanges. I mean, both players are definitely making each other sweat. It's not one-sided at all. Both players are putting it all on the line, and we're seeing both of their influences throughout the match really coming through.
Yeah, this is such a close and intense set from both players. It's really difficult to judge just who's gonna win this.
Yeah, I mean, going into a game 3 right now, game 1 was not convincing, game 2 was not convincing. We saw situations where both players sort of missed opportunities that were key in the exchanges, but again, we're not seeing Anti completely dominate Sonix or vice versa.
Now, of course, we have a shift of environment to Town and City this time. Of course, a lot more in terms of vertical space, the higher ceiling compared to PS2, as well as the platforms.
Yeah, a very welcome, familiar stage for many. Town and City, again, these moving platforms present new dynamics for the players to consider as they move off the stage, and it turns into a situation with no surfaces to land on other than the main stage. Landing might be difficult for Sonic, but it also might be difficult for Lucario.
Yeah, the speed of both characters in the air just make it very, very difficult to kind of get around their juggling tools.
Yeah, an early lead right now for Sonix. 129 after a hit, the forward smash clips Anti before he grabs the ledge. That must feel good for Sonix to land. He needs to keep this lead up if he wants to win this set cleanly.
Yes, very, very similar start to game 2. We saw, of course, Anti managing to take that out, even though he started at the deficit.
Yeah, right now you're sitting not only in a game 3 situation against a player that many might not be familiar with, being again from the Dominican Republic, which many players might not follow that scene. Anti has a lot to prove now as a top 100 PGR player and as a top player in the scene. There's a reputation online and potentially a character crisis unfolding. But Anti showed us in the past that, of course, he can adapt to new situations, he can adapt to new characters. This might be the beginning of a beautiful story with Lucario, but again, those changes might not come until after this set. The adaptation now and trying to land. Again, both players having difficulty, but platforms are back and Lucario's back off stage.
Yeah, Sonix is just playing this so superbly so far. It just feels like Anti is kind of lacking answers in neutral. Sonix is making a lot of fantastic reads, really great edge coverage. Doesn't get the 2-frame with the forward smash though.
Yeah, unlike the first set.
Oh, that is a very, very good trade for Anti. He really need that Aura Sphere to get the KO right there.
Yeah, and this is almost in a way even because with the Aura Sphere and the Rage online, the damage and knockback that he can basically send onto Sonix can really even up the percentages. However, he's still vulnerable since the knockback is very high at 151. Aura Sphere looking like Spirit Bomb right out of any Dragon Ball movie.
40%, all this damage getting tacked on. He tries to read an air dodge, but oh, what an Aura Sphere right there.
And this is what I mean, immediately now into 78% after a few hits.
That back air definitely a threatening option. Can he get the kill off this grab? Back throw. Not enough just yet from center stage.
Incredible DI from Anti, probably smashing that stick to the right to, again, cancel that vector. But now we're seeing that he's off stage once again to a forward throw, and he dies.
Unfortunate right there. Not able to survive that one. And now Anti on his potentially last winner's side stock, if Sonic has anything to say about it.
And it's exactly playing into Sonic's plan. He won game 1. Anti counter picks to the same stage as before. Anti wins game 2, and now this is the counter pick for Sonix. Of course, this Town and City stage with the absence of platforms is more difficult to land, and we're seeing that now. He's taking advantage of that. Lucario's having difficulty, and he's exploiting it.
Again, that's another counter that's not been successful for Anti.
Yeah, the payoff, major, but again, the call out not matching the situation. Anti could get a huge payoff from it.
Wow, what a punish with that forward smash. Getting the punish on the get-up attack and that range, that extra range from the forward smash really coming in play there and getting that final